So, welcome Ian Rankin to this special Guildford Book Festival event. You're here to discuss Rebus, the detective who's back. What's changed for him?
Well, I suppose what's changed is that when I wrote the first novel, he was 40 years old. That was over 20 years ago, so he's now in his 60s. So quite a lot has changed. A lot of the people that he knew in his life have passed on or have moved away. And he feels a bit like a dinosaur. He's the last of his kind. He's the last cop who does things that way, who works by instinct, who's a bit of a maverick. The police force has changed. He hasn't changed with it, so is there still a place for him in a modern day police force?
The police force itself is changing at the moment. We've just had the Police and Crime Commissioner elections. Does Rebus vote?
He's only voted 3 times in his life for 3 different political parties. With the referendum coming on Scots independence, I think if he voted at all, he would probably vote no. But his colleague Siobhan Clarke would probably vote yes. So there's a nice yin-yang thing, there's a nice balance there. There's lots of changes happening in Scotland as well. We've not got these new police commissioners, but what we have got is the 8 regional police forces in Scotland that are just about to be amalgamated into one nationwide force with just one chief constable in charge of the whole thing. And I'm not sure what that's going to mean for my future books.
The new commissioner in Surrey carries a zero tolerance tag. How do you feel about the police and how do you feel about that kind of policing?
About zero tolerance, well, I mean, I've got very mixed feelings about that because on the one hand, you know, I really don't think you should be busting people for having a little bit of cannabis on them. I think, you know, cops should be allowed a little bit of leeway, a little bit of common sense when you can let someone go or when you can arrest them. And if they're being told from on high that every offence has to be charged, every offence has to be taken as seriously as any other offence, then you're making it less likely that the cops will give people a little bit of a break. And that leads to resentment, at least a general resentment, at least a lot of youth resentment, and then the police are on the front line where these people are really angry at them when it's not really their fault, they're only doing what they've been told to do.
I can't let you go without speaking about music, because it's a theme of your books. Have you ever considered writing a book, or you may have written one that I'm not aware of, that has music as the subject, or musicians or music fans as the subject, rather than the backdrop?
I've thought about it, I've often thought about it, and I often read books with a kind of musical theme or a music as the plot, or bands as the plot, and they're never brilliant. They don't seem to be great. There's not many books out there that are well done like that. Maybe non-musicians can't write about music, I'm not sure. Or maybe music just defeats writing prose about it. You know, it's like Frank Zappa said, it's like dancing about architecture, writing about music. And I've thought about it. I mean, I was in a band when I was young and I got a lot of it out of my system. I wrote the lyrics, I sang them badly. And in the Rebus novels, that has allowed me to bring music in. He's a music fan, I'm a music fan, which has brought me closer to actual musicians. I've been able to work musicians and meet musicians because of that connection. So, you know, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the way things are, and I got to make an album with a musician called Jackie Leavin, so that ticked a big box for me. Writing a book set during the music industry, or in the music industry, or with a band, possibly not, but I've just written a short story for a musician, Tim Burgess, the lead singer of the Charlatans, and he's putting it out for Christmas, and it's a 15-minute short story set entirely in the music industry with music by Tim Burgess.